Danielle. Welcome, welcome, Million Mom Movement community. Welcome to Fierce Friday. My name is Stephanie Dawn, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. Every Friday, we come together to really create community around what's going on with our food systems, the corruption of our food systems. And we have a super exciting new segment today that we're going to be getting into in a moment called In the News. We're going to start sharing about things that we feel are important that are going on in current events. I don't know why we haven't started this until now, but here we are. It's all in divine alignment. That's what I have to know. So I am the chair of the Million Mom Movement Council. I am joined by 4 other incredible women, moms on a mission, who you're going to be hearing from today. And first up is Taz Ferreira, who's going to be reading our Million Mom Movement Pledge. Welcome, Taz, from the gorgeous state of Florida.
Thank you so much, Steph. Welcome, everyone. So do you guys know how important our pledge is? This is our ultimate tool, how we share with everyone around us. How, we talk about food democracy and food advocacy and all of that. Well, all of that is in our pledge, right? So I encourage you all to go into the app and share the pledge. It's under the Million Mom Movement tab. Share it. You can copy, paste it, and share it with everyone you know and love. And you know what you can do with that? You can print it, put it on your fridge, make a magnet out of it, share it with every single person you meet, because people need to know about this. They need to understand how we are so vocal about what's in our food, the toxicity, what's in our environment, and how to prevent all of these things. So I will be reading the pledge right now. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health of an environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement. And I need to highlight the Million Mom Movement. MOM is the movement of many. It's for all you dads, all you aunties, all you uncles. I see you, Dan. I see everyone on this call. You don't just have to be a mom. You can know someone. You can inspire someone to do better, to read their labels, to look at what clean living means, and pass the health around and invite them to our call. So back to you, Steph.
Thank you so much. I love reading that pledge every week. I've been living this for a long time now, and it's just really exciting to be doing it in community with you all. The standard American diet is making us sick, like literally making us sick. It's causing cancer. It's causing all manner of disease. And so we are a stand to transform that here at the Million Mom Movement. And we do it through our kitchens and through our pantries and through what we have with the incredible Purium health products. So we are now going to pivot into this wonderful news segment that we have called In the News. And I've got my colleague and friend, Jody Parker, who's going to lead us off. She's going to be talking about food shortages. Joe, what do you got for us? Can we unmute Jody? Purium Corporate. There we go.
Sorry, I didn't hear you because I froze for a minute, but I'm back now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. So I'm talking about In the News, yes, because I missed all that part.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, please.
All right. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited about this because I'm a former television news segment producer. So this is my jam. So we've been talking about the world and how unstable it is and what's happening and how does that affect us in our lives and in our kitchens here at the Million Mom Movement. And last October, we talked about prepping for emergencies, and we talked about how Purium is such a great emergency food to have on hand, 2 years shelf stable. It's got all the nutrition that we need, and we can feel really assured that we're giving our families the very best when that happens. And I'm here to tell you today that that is something that you really need to keep in mind as we're moving forward, because what is happening in the world is causing massive food. As it grows, we're going to have, I just lost the word. My mind went blank. Daughter mine, stop sucking over there. She's in my office and she's like sucking on a lollipop, on a popsicle, and I'm hearing, I'm like, whoa, distracting. Sorry about that, you guys. So what is happening in the world with what happened in the last 2 years with our supply chains and with many of the floods and the disruption and the frost and all of that stuff has caused problems with agriculture. And now we're looking at what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, and they are huge exporters of so many food things like wheat, like Ukraine is responsible for 80% of the sunflower oil. Aldi in Germany is now limiting how much oil you can buy in their grocery stores. And so that we're starting to see that here in America with the shelves have lower and lower things on them. You go to the Costco and the upper things no longer have things. And so we just want to put it in your head that make sure that you are prepared, because now looking at it, Ukraine right now is not planting their crops. It's time for them to plant right now, and they're not getting their seeds. And that's having huge effects in the poorer countries in the world already. The bread prices are going up in Egypt. Syria is not putting things out. China has bought up like 50% of the world's soy products and like 70% of their wheat products. Like, they looked prepared, but I don't know how prepared the United States is, because we're not getting any information on that. So I just want to tell you guys, if you want more information on that, Ice Age Farmer is a really good person to follow because he follows all of this information. But we want you guys to be prepared. And here at Purium, it's very easy for us to be prepared because we have food that we can survive. I was going to say survive. It's not survive. Leora, stop smacking. Can you guys hear her? She's going. We have food that you don't just survive on, you will thrive on. So make sure you're looking at your Love Super Meal, your Epigenius Kids, your Core 4, your Family Nutrition Pack, and having those things on hand. And, you know, if you can add a little bit more to your order, I would suggest doing it. I have been doing that for the last couple of years. So if there is an emergency, if something happens, if the cyber attacks they're talking about happens, we're all good. Right. So, you know, there's a lot of chatter out there. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of narratives. All I can say to you is be ready to take care of your family and you'll be good.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jody. I've been concerned with the truckers convoy, if that's going to be affecting us here in the United States. But bottom line is fill up those pantries, everybody. That's really what I'm getting from what you're sharing, Jody. So with whatever you love as well as Purium. So thank you so much for that, Jode. Now I'd like to bring on Naeva Flory, who's back in Kauai after a little sojourn to California. She's going to share about something that's been on my radar now for many weeks, and that is the bioengineered label, which is a brand new label for GMOs, right, Naeva?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So at first I was super alarmed when I saw this label coming out and I was like, oh my gosh, another label. But here's the thing, GMOs have never been labeled before. We've only labeled organic foods and non-GMO foods. So it's actually kind of a good news segment because now with this bioengineered label, we will know what foods have ingredients that have been genetically modified. And we now know that about 85% of our soy has been genetically modified, as well as so much of about 75% of our food products have genetically modified ingredients within them, if not more. And so as of January 1st, they came out with this new label. And the thing that alarms me about this label is that it looks like a healthy label. It's a sunshine with a smiley face. And that's where it concerns me, because they made it look like it would be put on something that you would think is good for you, right? It looks like a nature label. It looks green and yellow and happy, and it's not that. So I want you to be hyper aware. If you want to go look up what the labels look like, there's several suggested labels. I'm not sure exactly the one that they're using, but there's several options that I've found online, and they're going to start using these labels on our foods. So look out for them. And this label is going to be used on products that contain ingredients that have been genetically modified. So we'll have more on that soon. I did post the article that I'm reading into the Million Mom Movement official group. So if you'd like to read more, you can find it all there. Back to you, Steph.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Naiva. That would be the Million Mom Movement official group on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook and you want to see what we're up to, join that group. So a couple weeks ago, I shared, for those of you who were with us, that we have a new glyphosate report that just came out, 2022 glyphosate report called The Poison in Our Daily Bread. And I want to highlight this, and I'm going to be highlighting this over the next several months. And I'm talking with Henry Rollins, who is the executive director of the Detox Project .org that produced this very alarming new report, to come and do an interview with us. So stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to bring him on. And I really, really, really am imploring you all to download this. Follow the detoxproject.org. They are the ones that certified Biomedic to do what we all say that it does, to remove glyphosate out of the body. They are the third-party certification company that that certifies that what we say Biomedic does, it does. So they are big, they're big allies for us, and for those of us that care about pure food. And the reason why I want you all to know this is because we would have thought that things might have gotten better since 2016, since glyphosate unsafe on any plate came out, the report that we've been sharing all these years. But no, things aren't getting better, as a matter of fact. And that's why we need to grow this movement to 1 million. We need to raise our voices in the communities that we're a part of all across this nation and around the world, to be honest, because glyphosate has been used for over 40 years globally. It's the most widely used herbicide in the world. And so I will, or if one of my colleagues could share this in the chat, I'd really appreciate it. And if not, I'll do it as soon as I'm off here. But it's a PDF, and you can download it and get it bound just like I did at my local printer. And it's a teaching tool for when, we're all getting back doing in-person events. And I want you all to be reading this and teaching from it. And that's what we're going to be doing over the next several months and probably years until the next one, right? Because this is what we do. So the other event that I want on all of your radar is an event that I'm really excited and inspired to be producing with my Million Mom Movement Council colleague here, Carmela Velarde. It's happening next Tuesday. It's called Nourish Women Now. It's geared towards birth professionals, doctors, nurses, midwives, doulas, lactation consultants, prenatal yoga instructors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to be gathering everyone together. We're going to be storytelling. We're going to be sharing about how this nutrition can help women prenatally and postpartum. And I will be putting the link into the chat in a moment. Otherwise, just type in Nourish Women Now on Facebook for March 15th. And this is an event that's not only happening in March, I'm committed to doing it with Carmela every month in 2022, because I'm committed to getting this into the houses of women, of families all across this nation. So hope you'll join me. That is in the news, my friends. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on the magnificent Naiva Flore and Carmela Velarde, who have created this wonderful business forward presentation for you all about how to create your brand with Purium. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you, Stephanie. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm so excited to come to you guys today about the topic of creating your brand. So social media is something that with our network marketing company and brand partnership with Purium, it's a really integral part of creating your authentic voice and putting that out there. So I had we talked together in the council about topics, and this is a really important part of our brand partnership. So I, of course, had to call in Naiva Flore and have her come in to share because she does support us with the social media for the Million Mom Movement. How are you today, Naiva? We're going to go back and forth. So we're going to make this a lively and fun talk.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carmela. I am doing great. So glad to do this.
Yes, I felt like I couldn't do it without you because you have so much insight with how you brand our Million Mom Movement platform. And it's so important to really dive into this topic. So when we're talking about creating your brand for our Purium business, what are we talking about? So we're talking about a few main topics. You might want to take a notebook out because there's a lot of different content that we're going to put out that you may not know. And you're going to want to jog your memory for some of the ideas as well. So, and some of you might be experts already listening to this and wanting some basic refresher courses as well, which we will be focusing on the basic new user and somebody who maybe just is starting their business. So some of the branding topics that I thought were really important for us is, of course, food, organic lifestyle, toxins in our food, detoxification, and economic empowerment. So along with the Million Mom Movement, we are the activism arm. So I'm going to add in activism and the movement, quote unquote. So you're a part of a larger picture. And how you're going to come across with these topics is, we're going to share our own social media, Naiva and I, how we through posts, through stories, through reels, through lives, how we execute these topics. And for you who are out there, and maybe you are, wanting more information about just how do I get started? So this is it. And one main thing that you want to talk about is the benefits of our lifestyle. We are lifestyle educators. So when we own that role with poise, with posture, people will really need to see you as the person to follow and the expert. And then we really want to also define our niche. What is our niche? Who is our end user? Who is our avatar? So we talk about this in social media context because the avatar is the person who you are speaking to as an audience. And when, for instance, my personal story, I'm going to take you into my inner notebook world of my personal 5 topics for my avatar. And that way you can jog your own memory and start to see what would yours be. Now, you want to come onto people's social media because you want to get to know the person better. And you're going to want to like them and follow them. And when you like them and follow them, you want to have them engage with you and really create a relationship from a complete stranger virtually. And so, in the pandemic world, our business was booming. Why? Because we're all online. People are literally at home online. So we have to take advantage of this opportunity. People love the old school network marketing way, of course. It's great, but we have to also really stretch out of our comfort zones and really get into the world of virtual, but do it in a way, we want to teach you in a way that's not spammy, but it's savvy. And savvy means also that we don't want you to be overly branding Purium, because that's not what people come to you for. They want to come to you because you're the person who's going to take them to their end result. So how do they know that? They have to know your story. So this is my personal list of my specific avatar. So 5 areas of focus that I make posts for these people are, so I'm raising a family. I have an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old. I'm raising a family in a toxic world. right? We can all relate to all of the Million Mom Movement support and content, and really utilize these tools, these different tools. And what we can do is we can recreate the Million Mom Movement Fierce Friday topics on your page. You can recreate them and have it be in your voice. And I recommend that. We're giving you ideas. We're giving you ideas what to talk about through our content. And then maybe do a live afterwards, do a story about it, record it. There's so many ways that we as the Million Mom are helping you build your brand, but we are giving you content to work with. So now, raising a family toxic world, that comes back to my ADHD diagnosis, my autoimmunity, my postpartum story, which was completely how I launched my Purium business, because I was 30 pounds overweight and I couldn't get a hold of my hormones. And so many other women relate to this. You have to really relate to this end user, because that's who's going to want to follow you. And then number 2, overwhelmed mompreneur. So there are other mompreneurs out there. I just did a reel today about it. And I just gave a moment to meditate for them, because we are overwhelmed, because we are doing so much. We're the caregivers, right? But then we're also building our social media profiles. So how are we able to do all of that? Well, I tell my brand partners, make your unboxing monthly, your smart order, into a post. Once a month, you got that, and get to talk about a product. When you're overwhelmed with business, take a picture of yourself while you're on a call, right? Show yourself working at the computer. Show yourself, what are you doing? People need to see you as the expert. So what does a day in the life look like? That's a mompreneur. And when you're overwhelmed, say you're overwhelmed. Like, tell people the truth. Authentic connection and relatability is a big part of social media branding, because people want not fully polished like news broadcasters. They want to know the real deal. And what are your tips to help those people get to the lifestyle that we all are offering? Number 3, my sober mom journey. So many people on my social media, and this is also thinking about who's your audience? Who are the friends that you have on your page? And so I had been in the nightlife industry for 15 years. I have a lot of people in that world, and they're pretty toxic. They drink and drug and do things still, and they don't have a family like I do yet. So I would want to call them into my lifestyle, right? Because at some point they will want that. They need it. And so what's my journey into sobriety? How did I reform my life? I want to still talk about that, because there's still people out there that need that real life tip. So I call it nightlife to detoxing. And then the 4th is prevention and gut health. So this is an area of ours that we can really, truly dive deep in, because we have solutions that nobody else has. We need to promote this. This is like the key. A lot of people in our community call themselves gut health specialists, because we technically can be that, because clinically we can say that. And so please feel that confidence behind you, feel that wind behind you, that we've got your back. This is what we can be confidently sharing, even if you're brand new. Number 5, you want to be a coach, a mom, a mentor. That's my avatar. Like, I really want to consciously parent myself publicly. So I tell people like what my process is going through motherhood, what my process is, struggling to take care of my aged father who just got out of the hospital for 1 month from COVID. Like, I'm struggling, guys, and people know that. So I show myself in the hospital with my father. I showed him coming home, eating cake with my kids, so that they see I'm a real human being. Like, I can eat and I can live, and I'm not polished doing it, but people follow people when you're real. Okay, so now, platforms. Okay, platforms. This is a really big topic, because there's so many platforms, and people, when they start their brand partnership, they say, well, I have an account. What do I do with it? And should I be on other ones? What's the most important one? Right? So when you have an upline support, they will tell you, most likely, that you have a team page for Facebook. Why? Because Facebook is the only platform that you can build a team on. And that's the truth. You can have Instagram pages for your team, but it's not the same interaction and content that is able to be saved, like files, PDFs, links. There's a whole thing that we have for my team with Cindy Kelly, who's created an amazing portal for our customer portal and our brand partner portal. So platforms, Facebook is a really key component to our branding, because it also then you can add people to your team pages, right? So Facebook is integral. And I know some people came off of Facebook, right, because of what's been going on with Facebook, but it's important. So I will say, definitely lean in. Okay. Don't go out. It's part of your business, right? If it's part of your business, just accept it and grow with it. The second thing is Instagram. Instagram, of course, is a huge tool because you will reach out to more people on that platform than I think any other platform. And it's proven. I mean, you see the amount of followers that you can get in one day just from hashtags and posts, which I will talk about. TikTok, which is growing and amazing for especially the Alpha Gen, the Z Gen, the X and Y Gen are even in there. It's really incredible watching all of these really creative videos happening and branded to the same topics that we're talking about on all platforms. Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube's strong. It's one of the top search engines, and Clubhouse. So these platforms, if you aren't on Facebook and Instagram, at least get on them and then explore the others. And I say, if you have a lot to say, definitely go to YouTube, because you want to be searched. If people are looking you up and you're calling them into your business to have you mentor them, they're going to be researching you and Googling you, and you're going to want to be found. So people are also thinking, well, should I have a website? So yes, that's also nice to have, but it's not necessarily 100% necessary. I will say, because as a brand partner, you can really exist live on Facebook and Instagram and have what's called a link tree or a milkshake, which Nayeva will talk about shortly. So people are asking, do I have a personal page and a business page? Right? People ask that from your team. Well, it depends on your audience. So who is in that followers group of yours? Now, are they people, say, for instance, you're an actress. I have an actress brand partner. And she says, I have thousands of actress friends, but I want them to know that I started really focusing on health and wellness. Totally different topics, right? But if you're a lifestyle brand and then you're lifestyle branding on your actor group, not exactly the same. So yes, it might be in that case good to create a separate brand page, a business page, and then bring people in there asking them or telling them, promoting yourself and bringing them into that world of yours, because it is a very specific world. It's your more personal world. So this is like a basic overview because there's so much about social media, right? There's so much. So I'm going to actually, let's see. Do I want to cover anything else before turning over? Hashtags, right? Because I was talking about specifically audience and avatar. So when we're talking about hashtags with social media and creating your brand, you're going to be very clear who are the people that you want to attract. And, there's a 30 hashtag limit. I mean, that's a lot of people you can grow into. And I tell you, I get so many followers from these hashtags when I didn't use them versus starting to use them. So I highly, highly recommend hashtagging it to death, like do all 30. And there are great apps. I have it here. Influencer Marketing Hub is a great one for hashtags, or you can just Google search hashtag generator. And they give you great ideas for a lot of things, posts, reels, all those things. They'll give you great ideas because if it's a really popular hashtag, then you want to look at like topics, and then you can create something based on those hashtags because clearly people are researching and using them. And sometimes people ask me then, well, is it better to have the hashtags that have 1 million, 25 million following, right? Or posts with it? Sometimes not necessarily, right? Because why? Because people are hashtagging and then looking up what comes up. And if you're one of millions, it's not as visible. So I say you do add in things like meditation, right? I just did one on meditation, breathing. You're going to find millions, but then you're going to want to go a little more specific, like breathing practice or healthy breathing breath work. So, and it only started in 2007. So this is actually something that we really need to utilize and learn to utilize with our posts and branding. So I'm going to pass the mic over now to Naiva Flore, and she's going to get into practical stuff about creating your brand, as in your own page.
Thank you so much for all that, Carmela. So much great information. And yeah, I love what you just shared about the hashtags. I generally look for hashtags that have between 1,000 and 5,000 posts, because over 5,000, you're just lost in the mix, especially if it's over 10,000 or in the millions. I very rarely use those. So when you type in a hashtag, it actually gives you a list of suggested similar hashtags, or maybe longer versions of the hashtag, like Carmela said, 2 words put together for a hashtag. So it's a really great way to kind of, put the hashtag of what you're sharing about, and then find the ones that are still pertinent to your post, but maybe don't have a million posts associated with them. So that's something that I've learned. Also hashtagging your location, what exactly it is that you're talking about, and some of the things that are pertinent to, your exact subject. Those are always really great. And then if you want to create your own personal hashtag, I did that 7 years ago, you guys. I created my own personal hashtag after I did a training. And if you want to look it up, my hashtag is I built my business with my baby on my hip. It's like a mile long, but I'm the only one that uses it. So the cool thing about this is that I use that on all of my posts that are regarding to the business, or anything that has to do with being an entrepreneur, momtrepreneur, working my business, working from anywhere. Any of those posts, I use that hashtag because it is directly related to me working my business. And when somebody clicks on that hashtag, then they get to see all of my posts that I've made over the past 7 years about my business. So it's like my license plate, right? And I usually use it as my first hashtag. So that way, when people read the post, if they want to click that hashtag and go and dive into the rest of my stories and things that I've shared, they can. So anyways, love hashtags. They're amazing. Find ones that are always pertinent to your post. Otherwise, it won't make sense to people when they find your post if you're using hashtags that don't make sense. So some of the basic social media tips that I want to share today is about just really basic branding yourself. Okay. So when you think about branding yourself, think about the profiles that you go and look at, and, how they make you feel. So when I go to a profile that has a picture of like somebody's dog on it, right? I'm thinking, oh, wow, there's a dog lover, but I'm not thinking this could be a brand partner. I'm not thinking, this is an entrepreneur that I want to work with. Those are not the thoughts that come to my mind. So it's really important that, you have a professional picture, or a nice, lit picture of yourself that represents you. Right? So maybe it's a picture of you in nature. Maybe it's a picture of you at your office, at your computer. But it is important that you have a nice picture that is representing who you are, because it's like, the first thing people see. So they always say, that first impression, right? So you want to leave a really good first impression when they see you, that they're like, wow, this person is really inspiring. I want to click on their profile and see more. So once they come to your profile, then you have your description, right? And so we want you to write a description, some of the things that are pertinent to you, right? So who you are, what you're passionate about, what it is that you're doing. So for example, on mine, I can actually share my screen and show you mine, so you can kind of see where mine is, and I'll share a couple of our profiles. So I'm going to go ahead and share, so that way you can kind of get an idea of what it is. Let me go find my front screen here. Give me just a second. So you can see on mine, I have a picture of me with, at one of the conferences talking on stage. And what's that?
I don't see your screen.
Oh, you don't see my screen. Oh, that's so strange. Okay. Let me.
Did we lose her, Carm?
No, I don't know. So what I believe we're on our phones. So what we're doing is we have this function. If you have an iPhone, if you swipe diagonally, you're going to get this square where you're going to have a circle in the center, and that's for record. So you can record live your screen share to live. So that's what I think that she was working on, to be able to open. Oh, there she is. I see you, Naiva, but I don't see your screen. Is it on your page? I can pull it up maybe. I see her working away on another on another open screen. She's definitely making it happen. Give us just a second. The content via Zoom then.
Maybe if you could answer the question in the chat, Carm, about how many business style posts versus personal life interests? Miriam Ramsey is asking that. Great question, Miriam.
Suggestions on how many business style posts. So, I mean, I'm going to show you my pages so you can kind of see. I honestly don't have technical answer for that, Miriam, but I go back to my own feed often, and then I look through it as if I'm a new person, because I'm constantly prospecting, right? And so as people come to your page, what do they see? And I look at it to make sure everything is as I would want. So if there's a topic, I'm like, I haven't spoken about the Million Mom Movement in a minute. I haven't hosted in a while. Maybe I should put a post there about something about family movement activism, maybe because I had been posting too many personal things, because a lot of personal life events have been happening. So you kind of want to always be on top of your pages and look at them with a discerning eye. So how many, I like to sprinkle in business, but I do a lot of holistic health coaching because I have been for 20 years. People know me as that brand already. So I sprinkle in the business because people don't know me as much from that. But personal life interest, if you're feeling like your page is not personal enough, then yeah, why don't you make a post specific that introduces yourself to a brand new person?
Thank you, Carmela.
I got muted.
You're unmuted now? Oh, thank goodness.
I got unmuted. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was muted and I couldn't unmute myself, everyone. I apologize for that. So I'm not going to share my screen because I don't want to have more technical difficulties. So we can always, maybe Carmela can share her screen in a little bit and not have technical difficulties. But basically you want to share what it is that you're doing. So on mine, I have that I'm a mom entrepreneur, that I have 6 children. I have on there that I represent the Million Mom Movement, and that I am helping other people. I'm helping moms to be able to work from home. So that's kind of my messaging on there. And then on there, I also have a link tree or a milkshake. So I know Carmela mentioned this real quick. There is a difference between the two. I prefer milkshake over Linktree, and this is why. Linktree, you have to log in to the website every time you want to edit it, and you only get one page with a list of all the links that you want to share. That's great. It's amazing. It also, if you want to have the upgraded version, it's like $6 per month. It's not a big deal, but it's $6. Whereas Milkshake is an app on your phone. I can click on the app and update a link, and it takes me less than 5 minutes. So say during a Black Friday sale or one of our other amazing sales towards the end of the year, I can go and I can make myself a permalink, go grab the image of the things that are on sale, the description of the items that are on sale, and I can make myself a link on Milkshake in less than 5 minutes and add it to my list. The other cool thing is that it actually gives you several different options of looks. So you can have a more retro look or a more nature look or a more professional look, depending on what your brand is. You can also change the colors on Milkshake to represent your brand colors, which we'll get into in a minute. So I really love that because it just gives you way more leeway. It's like having a mini website. It also lets you have more than one page. So if you'd like to have a, an about me page, and then you want to have the next page be other links that you share, then you can do that. So if you're interested in learning more about Milkshake, there's a great app. It's super easy to use. And if you want to see what it looks like, you can always go click on the link in my profile and see what that looks like and if it's something that you might want to do. So branding colors, right? This is important because this is what actually makes people think about you, right? There's certain colors that when I see them, I actually think of a certain person's brand, right? There's a lot of companies out there, right? When you see that white check mark on something, what does it make you think of? Nikes, right? There's certain ways that they've branded themselves, whether it's a logo or the colors that they use. And so it's really important that we do something similar when we're branding ourselves, right? So find the colors that you really resonate with, your favorite colors. I even have some brand partners that have kind of like a pastel-y tie-dye look as their brand colors. And it's really fun because if that's your look, then maybe you have a few different colors that you put as backgrounds of your posts or whatnot. And so it's really fun. I suggest choosing 3 to 5 colors that you really resonate with. And I prefer lighter colors over darker colors because it does brighten up your feed. So that's my personal perspective on it. And it does really help bring some cohesiveness to your posts. If you're interviewing people and you're doing reels or stories or different things, or videos that you're posting on your Instagram, sometimes you want to use a cover photo for those. Instead of sharing, one of the images of you talking or of you interviewing somebody, you can actually upload a new photo to those cover photos. So maybe it's your brand color with just, a title of what it is you're talking about or something like that. So you can get some ideas, obviously, on Instagram by scrolling and looking at other people's posts about that. As you've noticed through the Million Mom movement, our colors are, a bright pink, a bright turquoise blue, and then a lighter version of that pink and a lighter version of that kind of minty color, green and white as the background, right? Those have been our brand colors. We decided to do that when the council came together to really brand the Million Mom movement. And now when I see that bright pink and turquoise together, guess what pops into my mind, right? And that's what we want to do for the field, right? That's what, when you see those colors right away, you're like, oh, Million Mom movement posted something, right? There's a Fierce Friday coming up. So that's what you want to do for yourself. So that way, when people see your post right away, they know it's you. So next, I want to go, do you want to add anything to any of that, Carmela, before I go forward? Did I leave anything out?
No, I love that you have, and honestly, because I post so many of our Fierce Friday posts, I've kind of made the colors Million Mom my own. And you kind of organically create this, right? Because if you are doing a lot of something, you kind of have to merge your color scheme into that. So
love that, Carmela. It's so true. And so yeah, and please repost our posts or make them your own, like Carmela said, right? You can always take some of what we're sharing and put it with one of your images, right? Recreate the post to make it your own. And so next, I'd love to go into a little bit of choosing the topics that you're going to share about. So Carmela kind of shared about this with creating your avatar. When you create your avatar, you're kind of you already know who you're talking to, right? Because you know who your ideal client is, you know who the people are that you're talking to. So a lot of times your topics that you're going to be sharing about are going to be married with who your avatar is, right? And so for myself, I have, family, mom life that goes into, feeding my kids healthier options, the different things, going and having fun at the beach, right? The lifestyle freedom part comes into that family life part of being able to do things that maybe I couldn't do before as a busy mom, on one income, right? And then I also share about organic living, healthy foods, non-GMO, and that also goes into sharing about what Purium is, right? So I'm sharing what the problem is, and then I'm sharing a solution. And then I also share about business. I love to share success stories, interview other brand partners, or, share my own story, or like Carmela said, take a picture of me with my computer or my phone, or maybe me and a brand partner. Or we had a really fun, we had a healthy happy hour the other day with some brand partners, and I made some can't beat this. So we did a can't beat this cheers. And so, and I put can't beat this party. So, have fun with it, share what you're doing. And that was a business post, because I shared that we were having a business meeting and that we were having a beet juice with it to a little pick me up, right? It's a healthy caffeine drink. And then I love to share about travel because I love to travel. And I also want to share with people the lifestyle freedom, location freedom aspect of what it is that we do. And so those are the things that I share about. So the people I'm talking to are moms, are people that love to travel, right? Maybe families that love to travel, families that care about organic living and healthier alternatives, and maybe they want a way to work from home, right? The business side, me sharing my business stories and things like that. So that is who my ideal avatar is. And your posts want to also kind of coincide with speaking to that, your ideal avatar. So let's see. I'd love to go into stories. Or wait, let's see. I think we're going to do this together, right, Carmela? So let's go ahead. I think, Carmela, you're going to go ahead and share about lives, and then we're going to go into some more of, we're going to talk about lives, reels, stories, and posts. And so, Carmela, if you want to take it away with the lives, passing it over to you.
Thank you. And I love your branding, Naiva. When I first came into the company, I looked up, and this is something that you're going to want to do when you're a new brand partner, get to know the community, get to know the people who are doing it well, and stalk them, right? Look at what they're sharing and take, you have a totally different network. So you can use and copy their posts or copy their topics. So when I went on to Naiva's, I always see her focus on sustainability and creating something out of nothing, right? Like, I loved how when she unboxed, her kids made the paper, all that paper, right, into like art. And that was a great post. So many creative ideas in the Million Mom Movement community that you can recreate for your home. So let's talk about lives, right? So lives are something I love. And I know Jody loves, Taz loves, Stephanie loves, we do lives. We love lives. Why? Because when I would say 2017, it got really, really popular. And now it's all about the reels, right? So the lives, they give you this really good in-depth view of the person, because you want to know, like, and trust the person you're following. And when you do a live, you really get to interview, people get to ask you questions, you just talk about a topic, really get to know the person. So there's something called multi-streaming. So if you're on these different platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, if you're on, I think there's Twitter and LinkedIn capabilities, but it's mainly those three. You can live stream from an app that's external. And that way you can stream once and it goes through all the different platforms. It does cost you some money, but what I do, and I'll just quick share my screen. Let me see, microphone on. I don't know if I want to record, but I'm sharing it. Can you see my screen or no? Oh,
No, I can't.
Sorry about that. Let me turn it off. Share content. That's what I meant to say. There we go. All right. So you're now able to see my screen. So, okay. So this is my Facebook and I'm going to my profile. So this is what mine looks like. And I have a link tree, but after Naiva told us about this milkshake, I'm really into milkshake. So I saw it as like a whole other website within a link. And I said, oh my, and for the same amount of money, we're not getting paid for this, but we're just telling you the benefits for sure. So it kind of serves a little bit, here as a resume. But I will say, doing lives, what I do here, like it's Women's Month, Women's History Month, Women's Month. So I started the series to interview also women in my business for National Nutrition Month. So women and nutrition. So I took that as a series and I started doing them. Now I do Zoom to Facebook, which is easy to do. If you have a paid Zoom account, you just click this button at the right that says stream to Facebook. So I did a little series, Hang on a moment, it's here somewhere. I have about 3 interviews so far, but I keep going with it. Sorry, guys. You're getting dizzy. But as you can see, the lives are a really big component because as soon as you click in the live, right? Here's Sarah Cole. She's a Million Mom Movement Scholarship Recipient Awardee. And I wanted to highlight her for Women's Month because people don't know that we have a scholarship. So you want to also very much curate who it is you're bringing onto your page, because these people you're promoting in essence, you're also cross-pollinating. So there's something with how do we focus our growth? Lives are big. Reels are the biggest right now, guys. Reels are the #1 way to hit more people, widen your reach. And you could do widen your reach with this. That's right, Naiva. We're going to talk about that too. Widen your reach. But the reels could be that. Lives as well could be a widen your reach post because it's a video. And collaborations. So think about who you're going to collaborate with for lives. And once this person is tagged, Sarah Cole, now she and I have this post up on our feeds. So another person is, I did another one here somewhere. Anyway, it was right after Jessica. Here it is, Jessica. So see, the tag there brings it to her page as well. So very key. Now let's go to Instagram. Instagram Live is fun. You go into creating and you go live, right? And you can see how many active followers there are. Now, if you go onto my feed, and these are the lives. I don't do too many lives here, but I will show you that I do a series. Series are a great way to be consistent with a topic, and you get to flush out this topic deeply with different people. I chose one person. This is one of my brand partners, Sarah Helton, and she's a great social media person. I love her branding. So I said, hey, let's collaborate and let's talk. And we went into Winter Wellness Wednesday series. So that was a really great way to engage, get stronger connections, cross-pollinate into hers. Now, all of our lives were about 16 minutes long. See, 16, 30 minutes, that one, 15 minutes. So the longer you broadcast and you're on, more people can jump on, right? But you don't want to bore people with too long, like an hour and a half, something like this. If there's a really good content interview, of course, then you can go an hour, a little bit more, I will give you some tips though on them. So when you do lives, hang on a second, I'm going to stop sharing screen and I'm going to come back to you. So when you do lives, make sure you have talking points, right? Bullet point everything. You're going to also want to dry run if you have person, broadcast for longer. Oh gosh, let's keep going. So let's pass. Sorry, we're running out of time. And there's so much content about this. But engage, entertain, educate, key, make bullet points, promote in advance. These are things you can do with lives. You can promote it as an event. Live events are fun because it's something you can make multiple posts with. Okay, I'm going to pass it off to you now, Naiva, on stories, because you're so great with that. If we can go a little bit over, I hope that that's okay.
Awesome. That was so much great information, Carmela. I loved everything that you shared. And yes, value and consistency equals success. So create value, be consistent, and you will have success on social media. And so I'm just going to share a little bit about stories. Stories are a really great way to just share what you're doing in your daily life, right? So whether it's an unboxing or whether it's you taking your aminos in the morning or making a shake or going for a jog, playing with the kids, taking them to the park, whatever it is that you do in your daily life, it's a way to show your audience that you're a real human, right? That you do all the things that you do in a day and inspire them with what you do as well, right? So you can also write little captions on your photos or story videos. You can do so many things. You can make polls. There's actually a new feature where you can, what was it called? It's called Add Yours. And you're basically asking your audience to add their photo of something similar, right? So maybe it's a photo of, you making your protein shake, and you're like, take a photo. What kind of protein do you consume, or something else, right? It doesn't have to be that specifically, but finding something that you want other people to share. So you're creating engagement through that post on your stories. Another thing that's kind of new is that you don't have to be an influencer and have the swipe up feature to link products to your stories. This is really exciting, you guys, because you could post a picture. Maybe you're doing a live in your stories about your unboxing, right? And so then maybe you put a link to the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, and you can actually, so you go and create a permalink at puriumpermalinks.com, and then you use that link, right? Because then it's linked to your gift card code and to the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, or whatever product that you might be promoting that day. Maybe it's just a single product. Maybe you're talking about how Apothecary helps you sleep better at night, and you want to link the Apothecary to that post. It's a really great tool so people can go see the website, and I'm super excited about that feature. The other thing
real quick. Instagram is the only one that has that right now. Unfortunately, until Facebook gets it, you know how you can share to both platforms from a story? It doesn't open it up in Facebook, I noticed. So just know that it's just going to be opened in Instagram and not on your Facebook group stories.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Carmela. So those are really two exciting things. The other thing that stories are is they go into your archives, and you can actually, that's how you create highlights on your page. So if you've seen on Instagram, everybody's got those little bubbles under their profile with different things that they've highlighted. It took me a little while to figure out how to make those, because it was before I had started making stories. And as soon as I started creating stories, I realized that that is what you add to those highlights. And those highlights could represent maybe your ultimate lifestyle transformation journey, right? Maybe over the period of your journey, you're sharing daily what you're doing, what you're going through, what you're eating, and you can add those into a highlight. Same with maybe your family or different other subjects that you're posting about through your brand. So that's a little bit about stories. We wanted to talk about reels and posts, but we are at the top of the hour. So I'll go ahead and pass it back to you, Carmela.
I'll get Steph's direction. Can we go a little bit longer for reels? Is that okay?
I'll be honest with you, ladies. I think we need a part 2. How would you feel about that, Carmela?
Yes, actually, we had a plan, Nayeva and I. If you want to share it, Nayeva, go ahead. It was your guest.
Go for it.
Yeah. Sure. So I originally had invited Seema to come on with us and to share some of her expertise. And then we realized after Carmela and I talked, and we knew that this was going to take a good 45 minutes just to go over everything that we wanted to share, that we weren't going to share that she needed to really give us her expertise. So we would love to invite you back for part 2 in the near future. And we will have Seema on to do a deeper dive into social media strategy and how to build your influence. So stay tuned for that. We haven't set the date yet, but we will announce it at one of our future Fierce Fridays.
Okay, wonderful. So we will put this all on hold for reels, because that's one of my most favorite and scariest things that we do as Purium brand partners. It's just, there's so much excellence out there. When I start to when I get into that play mode, that's when I have the freedom to create. And so that's what I want to offer you all. Until next time, Naiva and Carmela, that was so valuable. Can we put some love in the chat for these ladies? Oh my goodness. So phenomenal. Thank you so much for the time that you put into this, ladies. And this is Women's Health Month with the Million Mom Movement, and we are going to be coming back next week with a health focus. We've got Naiva coming back, which is phenomenal. She is going to be talking about the prenatal and postpartum term for women and how our products can help you. And I'm going to open it up, Naiva, because I'm sure that we're going to have some women here that are going to want to share their stories. So if you're here today and you want to come back next week, and we'll probably have some time for a Q&A, as well as just commentary. It's always so great to hear your voices. So thank you so much, everyone. God bless you all. Go out there and share the good green word, as I like to say, and we'll see you next week. Happy Fierce Friday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.